Good morning, this is Jack from the ArtChart.net, and this is the pre-market recording for Thursday, the 26th of July. Our disclaimer, do this for educational purposes only. We're here to share our technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. We're not here to issue trading signals. Let's start with the S. Now, yesterday's Trump bump, as it were, took us up to 28.50 and also established this this trend line here, which is the resistance trend line on a rising wedge. It's quite a nice rising wedge. And I think the obvious next move, if we aren't going to retest the high next, would be wedge support, and that's currently in the 28.16-17 area. Obviously, we've got reasonable support at 26.18 already. I think we may well be going back there. We don't have to. It may be we could go straight up from here. We are in a wave 3. And those aren't, well, there's a notorious for not giving an awful lot in the way of retracements, but equally we could go down and see that. If we do, the chances are that's going to be a buy. Right, NQ. Now, obviously, Facebook lost a lot of value overnight. NQ is down. This isn't a double top really, but again, I've got a rising wedge. Support on that is an awful lot closer. This is it here. It's currently in about the 73.80 area, I think, and again, that should get a touch. This overthrow here is suggesting this is about to start breaking down. Again, don't know how far any such breakdown would go. We are expecting to go higher from here. We've got a very clear triangle target at the retest of the all-time high at 2872 on SPX, and I think it's likely that we're going to be seeing that sooner rather than later. But this is looking as though we might see a little retracement first. Expectations should be modest. Any low is a buy. If it tests wedge resistance, yes, it would be. But the simple reality is there's no particular need for it to retest wedge resistance from here. If this wedge is solid, then it shouldn't retest wedge resistance. But it could go back and retest the high, double top. That would, at that stage, depending on how fast that was, would probably favour a breakdown from the wedge at the next move down. We're not expecting a serious high here, but we do have a lot of sort of fairly embedded-looking sell signals. There is a lot of scope for an unexpected retracement here. But not a lot of scope, I think, for not reaching that 2870 target in the next few days. So anything we were likely to see would be quick, and expectations for where it goes should not be too high. After we reach that retest, we could see a larger retracement, and as I said, we've got embedded sell signals. Okay, CL. CL, I've got a possible channel here. We're stalled at monthly pivot at the moment, so we may stay stalled at monthly pivot. We are in a week 60-minute sell signal, and Stan is looking down here. I've got currently channel possibly turning into a wedge support, currently in the 68.20 area, and on a break below, obviously breaking conversion of weekly pivot likely delivers us to a retest here. We are at the 50% retracement here. We should see a retest of this low, and that's what we're expecting to see. NG. This is a possible double bottom. Triangle option failed, obviously, on the move up from here. The remaining two options are double bottom, which would be breaking up slightly, and a strong reversal here would be a Janus flag looking for a move right back to this low here. Or, alternatively, this is a flag channel forming. Or pretty close to a flag channel, in which case we'd be seeing a reversal here, taking us straight back to this low. Either way, I think we're likely to go there, and we have got a 60-minute sell signal fixed now, so I think that move is likely to be starting. Okay, GC, SI, and HG all look like bear flags, and the reason they look like bear flags is because chances are they are bear flags. Those bear flags on breaks down would look for a retest of these lows, and I think on the balance of probabilities, that is likely to be what we're going to see. We could have a short-term high here on GC. There's no signal in it, but if you look at this will be I suspect, 15-minute sell signal. As you can see, the clear divergence here. That's not a signal-worthy divergence, but nonetheless, it is a divergence you'll quite often see at a reversal which hasn't reached the 70 or the 30 line. We could well be on the way back down here, and DX is a logical place to turn back up if it's going to do that. SI, we are testing the flag channel support. The obvious next target was obviously flag channel resistance. Stan's looking for a move into the 1570s today, taking his word for it. There's nothing really on from a classical basis to suggest that. But we have got support at the weekly pivot here, and we could obviously do that. Okay, next, HG. Beautiful channel here, 60-minute sell signal is fixed. We are back testing the possible very asymmetric and not particularly nice double bottom support. I'm going with the flag channel here, and I'm really looking for likely retest of this low as and when we see a break below this rising support, which is currently in the 2.795 area. Now, we could be forming the right shoulder on RHS, in which case we might find support in the 2.775 area, but I'd be favoring a deeper retracement and probably a retest just on the RSI. So we shall see. That would be a better way to bottom out here. I think as and when we see low retests on all three of these, if we see them, they're likely to be the second lows of double bottoms. I think the metals complex is very, very close to a turn. ZB. ZB, I've got a possible double bottom here. And we have a declining resistance trend line here, which is being tested. If we see a breakup from there, I'm surprised it didn't go just a little further, but it got down to 142.19. That's close enough to government work, really, to a target at 142.15. We could well see a reversal here without seeing this full target. If so, we'd be looking for a return to the weekly pivot in the 144.19 area would be the obvious target area. Okay, right. DX. DX. Why would we be looking at a reversal here if we're going to see one? Because we're at trendline support. This could be a megaphone support. This could be a falling wedge support, but one way or the other. We could see a breakup here. Rather than a move to 96, I think that's a bit of a long shot. We could see a retest of this high here, though. That wouldn't be that unusual. That would be setting up a smaller double bottom. Equally, we could continue straight down, but I have to say the preponderance of flags or metals are suggesting that we're going to see some kind of a bounce here on DX. And this is definitely a good place to do that from if we are going to see it. Okay, EURUSD. Inverse setup really to DX. Could head straight up from here, but equally we could see a bit of a reversal. This is a lower high here. I'd be wondering about a possible flag forming, but this is a good place to see a bit of a retracement at the minimum. USD-JPY. USD-JPY has broken main trendline support, but a possible double bottom has formed, and we are on a I've got it here as brewing, but I've marked in the arrow here because actually this 60-minute buy signal has fixed. I like a bounce here. That fits with a rally on DX. Okay, USD CAD. I'll come to FB. As USD CAD, we've got a pretty decent looking falling wedge here. It's actually a very nice looking falling wedge. So maybe on the way back to wedge resistance in the 131 area, that obviously would fit with a rally on DX. And we've got a 60-minute buy signal fix. The bigger picture target down here is this possible channel support. I'm not really expecting this to be a flag at all. But I would note that there is a nice looking potential flag channel here, and that is certainly something I'm keeping an eye on. Australian dollar broke up a little. I'm a little doubtful about the prospect. Well, this isn't a good pattern, but as soon as it improves a lot as soon as we get back over about 74.85, because at that stage we're breaking up from a reasonable looking double bottom, or we're getting to the top of a reasonable looking bear flag. No more than reasonable looking on either scenario, in my view. KC. KC, we are looking higher here. Hang on one second. Right, KC, we are looking higher here. And overall, and we're looking at a retracement. Sorry, it's just Matt. He is blissfully unaware of where I'm doing when I'm doing webinars, which is good news for him, but bad news for me when he tries to call me during one. Anyway, right, KC looking higher overall. This looks like a bull flag forming, but there is a decent looking double top here. It's found support of the weekly pivot so far. We are still on a 6-minute sell signal. I'm wondering about a retest of the low on KC. I was wondering, and I'm still wondering about that. Overall, though, I mean, it's possible we could go directly up from here, but this isn't much of a reversal signal at the moment. It would improve on a full retest of the low. SB. SB, possible triangle here with, if so, we've just hit triangle support again. I like this for a reversal down. I think the triangle fits with a reversal down to at least retest this low and make a lower low. At which stage I think this will be a very, very nice looking long. Okay, CC. CC is trying to bottom out here. I've got a second week 60-minute buy signal fixed. This is looks like a rounding bottom here. I'd really like this to be a double bottom to take us straight back up to a retest this high here. It's not really responding to that scenario with the enthusiasm I'd hoped. It may be that that's not going to happen, but in the short term, I think we're going to see at least a rally. Okay, CW, I've got targets here. I've got this target here in about 555 area, which is the first double bottom target. I've got another one up here in about the 560 area, which is the main double bottom target. And if we get there, then I've got a slight extension target because I'd really expect to see a retest of this high here at 564 3/4. After that, after a high somewhere in this area, Stan is looking for a move back down to 510 and then a likely further move up. I don't have any current divergence for that, but that's not a huge move, so I'm not sure it really requires any divergence. It would get us back to possible rising support, so there might be a pattern there. But really, I'd be expected to reach these targets first. So a bit higher, likely retracement, then higher. Okay, next. Corn, decent looking rising support trend line. We're getting into the range where we could, we're reaching this IHS neckline here, and we could be about to form a right shoulder. If we did, we'd be coming back to approximately the 360 area to do that. I like this scenario. I like a low here on corn, and this would make a nice reversal pattern. Soy. Soy is also at a potential inverted head and shoulder neckline. No current divergence again. We could well be looking at a retest of a back test of weekly pivot to form a right shoulder, and we shall see how that goes. All right, great. I'm going to stop the recording there.